Okay, so now let's talk about finding solutions of all the sine equations. So for sine, again, sine deals with the y values. So with cosine, we were positive in the first and the fourth quadrant because cosine was dealt with the x values. The x values are positive here and here. But when we're dealing with the sine function, sine are the y values. So that's going to be in this area here in the first or the second quadrant. So sine is root 3 over 2 at pi over 3. And then, so let's write it using our right notation. So we'd say theta is pi over 3 plus 2 pi k, because all the values of that. And then we'd say it's also root 3 over 2 over here at 2 pi over 3. Now notice we could take that pi, subtract the pi over 3 from it, and we'd get the 2 pi over 3. So whenever you're doing this with sine, you can just find one of the angles and then take pi, subtract that from there, and you'll get the second one. And again, we can say where k, I need to get my pen working, k is an element of the integers. So same thing happens for sine of 1/2. So sine is 1/2 at pi over 6, and then again at pi minus pi over 6, which puts us at 5 pi over 6. Where k is an integer. So now again, if you had to use your calculator for this and do the inverse functions, we do sine inverse of 0.2. When you do that, you're going to end up getting that theta is 11.54. And then we could also do that and take, and that's, we'll keep this in degrees. It looks like we need to be in terms of degrees with how they've restricted our domain. And then to get my second angle, so that's always that first angle in the first quadrant, and you can see the second angle, so these angles all came from taking pi and subtracting that reference angle. So you'll take pi, which is 180 degrees, and we'll subtract that reference angle, which is at 11.54 degrees, and we end up getting 168.46 degrees. We can kind of generalize this, the same thing with the sine function. Again, the period is 2 pi for the sine function, or 360, so you're just going to find the angles and then continue adding those. Note, once you find that first angle, which is going to be considered that reference angle, to find the second one, all you have to do is take pi and subtract that angle from it. So for example, if we had to find sine of theta, and now we've got this domain restriction, but so what angles, when you take the sine of it, gives us root 2 over 2. So those angles are going to be at 45 degrees. And then again, if you're looking at that unit circle, sine's going to be positive here and here. So 180 minus 45 degrees is where that other angle is going to be, which is at 135 degrees. So now if we're generalizing that, this would be, we would write it as theta is going to be 45 degrees plus 360 k, and then theta is 135 degrees plus 360 k, where k is an integer.